如果你媳妇儿现在还在娘家没有回来的，赶紧去接，晚了可能都不是你媳妇儿了。
If your wife is still at her parents' home and hasn't come back yet, hurry up and go pick her up if you are late. She might not even be your wife anymore. This really is something unbelievable, but it happened. There was a young woman who was pregnant. Her husband had to go on a business trip for one day, so he asked a driver to take her back to her parents' house for one night. Immediately, rumors spread in the neighborhood that the couple was having marital issues. The very next day, a matchmaker showed up at her parents' house with someone for a blind date. The woman still had a big pregnant belly, but the matchmaker said, "It doesn't matter, we can directly register the child under the new man's household. Once the baby is born and raised from the start, it will feel like his own biological child." The young woman was stunned and tried to explain that she and her husband weren't fighting, that she had only stayed at her parents' house for one night. But the matchmaker insisted she was making excuses and even claimed the man was willing to offer a bride price of 188,000 yuan. It was like talking to a wall. No matter how much she explained, nobody believed her. When she finally returned home, her husband told her never again to stay at her parents' house alone. Now, it seems like the matchmaking market has almost turned into some kind of cult. It's become completely crazy.
今天啊，就跟你们唠一唠，找结婚对象到底该看啥。
Today, let's talk about what you should really look for in a marriage partner. A lot of people make the very first mistake when choosing. Just recently, a buddy came to me for advice. He said he wanted a divorce. He and his wife were introduced by their families. There wasn't much love there, just a sense that it was suitable, so they settled. But before marriage, they would get into fierce arguments over the smallest things, taking the wrong road, food not to their liking, clothes not hung neatly. All those trivial little matters could blow up into huge fights. At the time, he thought, it's just about adjusting to each other, it'll get better. But after marriage, it got even worse. More little chores, more fights, more intense. Especially after having a child, the wife exhausted from childcare, and the husband, when he came home, would be nitpicked constantly. The door wasn't shut properly. The clothes weren't washed. You didn't do your share of the chores. After dinner, if he went for a short walk and came back, she would scold him, accusing him of messing around outside at night instead of being home. Finally, one day he couldn't hold it in and snapped back. Is it really worth it over such small things? That one line set off an explosion. He got scolded even more fiercely. Every day felt like walking a tightrope, terrified that one wrong word would spark another world war. He asked me if he should get a divorce. In truth, when most people come for advice like this, they already know the answer inside, they just want someone to confirm it. I often say, marriage is like starting a business together. When problems come, you should be able to communicate and solve them, not escalate them. What destroys a marriage is rarely the big issues, but always the endless trivial ones. From the very start, their relationship was flawed. If you can't tolerate small things, how can you expect to spend a lifetime together? Yes, choosing a partner's conditions is the foundation, but the most important things are temperament, personality, and character. When choosing a woman, you must choose someone gentle like water. When choosing a man, you must choose someone steady-tempered. When conflicts arise, the right partner won't give you the cold shoulder or provoke you. They will sit down calmly to talk things through. The right partner is someone who can share half your life's hardships. The wrong partner will make your entire remaining life unbearably painful. Such a marriage drains you, suffocates you, and eventually can only end in divorce. The number one cause of divorce is incompatible personalities. The second is an unsatisfying sex life. Only lastly are principle-level problems. And in fact, most of these issues can already be seen before marriage and can be completely avoided. But people often overestimate themselves and overestimate marriage. So, brothers, don't just look at external conditions when searching for a partner. Personality and temperament are the key. Don't wait until after marriage to realize you've chosen someone you simply cannot live with.
我81年的，再过8天的10。
I was born in 1981. In 8 days, it will be my birthday on the 24th of this month. After this birthday, I will be 44 years old. I have not married, I have not had children, and I do not have a partner. I feel that the greatest advantage of being alone is that you always have the courage to start over at any time. Of course, you can also go on a trip anytime you want, a leave whenever you feel like it kind of journey. My wish this year is simple to earn some money for gas and then go travel around China. Haha, I hope everyone will support me. And I also wish everyone all the best happiness and fulfillment.
我跟你说啊，普通人找老婆啊，你就选智商高的女生，这东西它是
Let me tell you, for ordinary men looking for a wife, choose a woman with high intelligence. That's something innate, it cannot be changed, and it will also be passed down to your children. When you marry a wife, you must marry someone smart, because the children will also be smart. Most sons inherit their IQ from their mothers. If you marry someone who isn't intelligent, that could lead your family onto a dead-end path. Next, look at physical fitness. She should be healthy, have a good appetite, strong energy, and rarely get sick. Don't underestimate good physical fitness. Health is incredibly important. If someone is always sickly and weak, everything feels exhausting, and their energy is always draining downward. That kind of life pulls you down too. As for looks, honestly, that's secondary. So when choosing a partner, prioritize high intelligence, good physical fitness, maybe average appearance, but with positivity and optimism. That kind of woman knows how to live life, and life with her will only get better and better.
20几岁的时候觉得30岁已经很老了，可现在自己快40岁了。
In my 20s, I thought 30 years old was already so old. But now that I'm almost 40, I still feel like a young person. The new year is over, the weather is getting warmer, and I probably won't be able to wear my down jacket for many more days. Every time the season changes, I feel like I have no clothes to wear. Do you feel that way too? Now, aside from not going out partying anymore, my lifestyle is just like that of young people. At night, I still stay up late watching dramas. In the morning, I still feel lazy and don't want to get up. In my impression, a 40-year-old woman should appear dignified, graceful, and successful in her career. But looking at myself at 40 apart from a few more signs of wear on my face mentally, I don't feel much different from when I was in my 20s. Tonight I wasn't too hungry, so I just boiled a corn cob for dinner. Living alone is casual like this. When I want to eat, I cook something nice. When I'm not hungry, I just eat a little bit of whatever. What I eat is up to me all according to my own mood. Nowadays, if someone suddenly asks me my age, I have to think carefully to remember how old I actually am. Age feels more and more blurred to me. Now I eat a kiwi every day. They say it's rich in vitamin C, so I eat it to supplement my body and boost my immunity. I'm now at the nearing 40 age, but I have the mindset of a 20-year-old and the finances of a 10-year-old. As long as I don't look in the mirror, I still feel like I'm young. As long as I don't check my bank balance, I still feel like I'm living well. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. Every age group has its own unique qualities. As long as wrinkles don't grow in your heart, you will forever remain a flourishing, youthful person. Before we dive into all of this, let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Connecting with viewers across the world is a huge source of inspiration for us.
为什么说资本在捧杀单身女性？
我平时听到我
Why do we say that capital is setting up single women for failure? The phrase I hear the most is that China has more than 30 million male bachelors. But almost no one will tell you that China has over 100 million single women. In the past 10+ years of frenzied capital-driven hype, China has produced 100 million so-called leftover women. Now, all the marketing gurus driven by capital keep telling women things like, if a man can't tolerate your unreasonable demands, it means he doesn't love you. If a man doesn't buy you gifts or send you red envelopes during holidays, it means he doesn't love you. They say a man's money shows where his heart island. This kind of toxic chicken soup marketing has made women's consumer desires grow bigger and bigger, and their standards for choosing a partner rise higher and higher. But what capital doesn't want us to see is the truth. The only thing they actually care about is the money in women's pockets. In reality, in the larger environment where there are more men than women, as long as a woman is willing, she will always be able to find a partner. Many women end up remaining single simply because their standards are set too high, putting them in the awkward situation of too good for the low, but not good enough for the high. Breaking free from this trap is not a matter of awareness alone. Everyone must keep a clear head and not be deceived by consumerism. Remember this, happiness cannot be bought through consumption. It must be built with your own two hands.
我不知道你们发现没有哈，就是出轨女人背后都有一个好丈夫。
I don't know if you've noticed this. Behind almost every cheating woman, there is a good husband. The husband works hard at home, doing all the chores, keeping the household in perfect order. But unexpectedly, what he gives her is time and opportunity to be carefree outside. The husband swallows his pride, endures the pain, and forgives her. But instead of changing, this woman continues lying, becoming even more brazen, forcing her husband to endure betrayal and hurt all over again. The husband had been with this woman from having nothing, building everything together. Yet she takes all that foundation and capital and goes outside looking for other men. The truth is, the husband was too good to her, trusted her too much, and that's exactly why she treats him like a fool. You, watching this video, have you ever encountered such a woman? If you're still watching, comment 1 so I know you're still with me.
36岁，没老公，没孩子，还失业，日子过得挺丧。
36 years old, no husband, no children, and now unemployed. Life feels pretty bleak, but I've decided to rescue myself. I'm going to take a long drive, a road trip to Hainan. When I told my parents, my dad knew I didn't have income anymore and would be reluctant to spend money. He directly transferred me 5,000 yuan, saying, "Daughter, don't be stingy when you go out to travel. Eat well, drink well, have fun. Dad will always be your strongest support." My mom also sent me messages non-stop. "Silly girl, don't be so stubborn. If someone wants to give, just accept it." Hearing these words made my heart feel so warm. Being supported by family, that's the best feeling. Before leaving, I left my dog with a friend for boarding. When I went to see him, he was so excited. But when I was about to leave, his eyes were full of reluctance. That made me feel really unsettled inside. Still, with my parents' support, I feel like life isn't so bad after all. This trip will definitely be full of surprises. Family, just wait. I'll be sharing everything that happens along the road with you.
是有房有车的状态吗？
是的，方便
Do you own a house and a car? Yes. Convenient to share the car brand? Maserati. Wow, 1.73 meters tall, 28 years old, settled in Shenzhen. If a boy with a monthly salary of 5,000 yuan pursues you, would that be okay? I don't mind, as long as I like him. What type of boy do you like? Someone with a sense of responsibility, who knows how to be tolerant. Sometimes I can be a little spoiled and willful, so I hope the other person can tolerate me more. Oh, are you single? Yes, for almost 2 years. If your parents don't approve of the relationship, what would you do? If I've already made up my mind, I will be very persistent.
在大家的印象里，体制内的工作那绝对是个稳定又体面的工作。
In everyone's impression, jobs within the system, that is, government institutions, public service, are considered stable and respectable. So they have increasingly become the top choice for women. Most women prefer stability. Salary doesn't matter much, whether just a few thousand yuan, as long as it's enough to support themselves. The key is stability. So, after graduation, many women take civil service exams to enter the system, such as becoming civil servants, teachers, nurses, and so on. And many people think, with this iron rice bowl, falling in love and marriage, it should be easy, life events won't be a problem, but in reality, things are different. For example, one of my classmates works in a community office back home. She is in the public service stream, all into Maine, all into Stott Air, and has been there for 7 or 8 years. Her salary isn't high, but she values stability and benefits like insurance and pensions. Over time, she discovered a problem. In recent years, the majority of new hires are women. Only occasionally is there 1 or 2 men. Not only has the number of female colleagues increased, but the number of older single women has also risen. In her unit now, there are still 3 or 4 women, already in their 30s who haven't found partners. These women, whether in terms of education, looks, or jobs, cannot be faulted. By logic, they shouldn't be unable to find partners. So why is this happening? Let's break it down. Reason 1. Far more women than men in the system. In small towns, government offices, hospitals, and schools, Dongkongkud and Adder in Dom times and offices, clerks, and hospitals are dominated by women. Men make up only about 10%. In some kindergartens, they are literally all women. For example, in a civil service exam with 10 slots, 8 are usually women. This means the pool of potential male colleagues is very small. And since government jobs are relatively closed, their social circles are limited. They mostly interact with coworkers or people seeking services. It's hard to meet new men. Even organized activities are mostly work-related. Unlike private enterprises, where business connections allow one to expand their network, in government jobs, the chance of meeting new people is slim. Reason 2. Higher expectations. Once women land such a stable, respectable job, they feel a sense of superiority. Especially in small towns with fewer job opportunities, the income and benefits stand out. So their standards naturally rise. They want partners with equally good jobs, better education, higher income, and stable family and economic background. So they pick and choose until they suddenly realize they are already nearly 30. At that point, many quality men are already married, engaged, or taken. Reason 3. Narrow range of choices due to matching families. Traditionally, marriage is based on matching families. Women in the system tend to prefer men also in the system. But since there are fewer men there, it's even harder to find suitable partners. They are reluctant to marry men in private companies because those jobs are seen as less stable, even if the salary is higher. Women often reject them, especially now with private sector layoffs. Reason: fear, career-driven mindset. Many female civil servants are ambitious. They dedicate time and energy to their careers, seeking achievement and self-growth. They often think, what men can do, women can also do. So they pour their energy into work and neglect personal matters. By the time they are near 30, many discover suitable men are scarce, already married, engaged, or taken. Reason 5. Psychological imbalance and unrealistic standards. Many women compare themselves with colleagues and friends. If they see others with excellent husbands, they want the same or better. This leads to imbalance and unrealistic self-positioning. They fail to objectively evaluate themselves. Overconfidence causes them to overlook reality, so they can't find suitable partners. Reason 6. Personality factors. Many female civil servants are independent and strong-minded. This is an advantage at work, but in relationships, it can be a disadvantage. Most men don't like overly strong-willed women, feeling pressured. So while waiting for the perfect partner, time passes quickly. And by their mid-30 seconds, they remain single. In truth, whether inside or outside the system, as long as you still have hopes for marriage and love, you should seize opportunities while young. If you already have love, cherish it. If you are still waiting, learn to actively seek. Maybe the one you are looking for is also looking for you. What do you all think? Share your thoughts in the comments. Looking at China's current social reality, the numbers are truly alarming. In 2024, the country registered only 6.16 million marriages, a drop of more than 3 million compared to the previous year, marking the lowest level in 44 years. Meanwhile, divorces reached 2.62 million, accounting for nearly 43% of new marriages. This reveals a dangerous trend. Marriage is losing its sacred role in society. China's social trends points out that when the family weakens, the very foundation of society is shaken. The tradition of family as the root has sustained the Chinese nation for thousands of years. But today, many young people overly focused on material standards and career ambitions miss their prime years and fall into the dilemma of too late, too difficult to choose. China social trends calls on everyone to rediscover the true meaning of marriage, not money or status, but companionship, sharing, and responsibility. Only when we value family and preserve traditional virtues can society remain stable and continue to thrive. Here's the question for you. Do you think the fact that more women enter the system yet struggle to form families is the main reason for China's collapsing marriage rate? Or is it simply the natural shift of modern society? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.